Hello, beautiful people. It's Celia Zengele here. If you're coming across this YouTube channel for the first time, welcome. And if you are a return subscriber and all the other subscribers that have been here for a while, thank you so much for your return again. And welcome to 2023. And this is the year that we need to try and keep our health under check, as you have seen in the description box, that we're gonna talk about strokes today. um I have made videos a while ago talking about stroke. Today I'm gonna talk about two kinds of stroke, because um stroke is not the same. And I really do believe that if we are going to fight something, we actually do need to try and get to know it better. And I'm not an expert. Let's clear that out right now. I'm not an expert in health. I'm not an expert in anything, but I am going to talk from experience. And my experience has driven me to try and get to know more about this illness, because I survived it. And having survived it did not mean, or still does not mean, that I am immune to it, that it won't come back again. So that is why I tried by all means to ensure that I learn a lot about it. So I'm just going to share few information pieces that I have found about these. I found that stroke has got two different kinds. There is a kind called ischemic stroke, and there's also a kind that is called hemorrhagic stroke. Now, here's the difference. The ischemic stroke is the stroke that is caused. Now, I'm using the day-to-day language right now. The ischemic attack is a stroke that is caused by clots, um, clots or blockages that may be done by any clot or any form of a blockage. The blockage can be the blood clot, or it can also be the thinning of the veins due to the residue that is in the bloodstream, or that is in the veins, by oils or fats. So, if you are having um, cholesterol issues, that means you've got um, kind of fats that are not good for your veins, and those kind can lead to stroke as well, besides the clots. So it can be the blood clots, can also be the fats that are in the veins. When they keep on thickening and thickening in the veins, they end up blocking the veins. Whereas on the other side, you also have the hemorrhaging stroke. Now, the hemorrhaging stroke is the one that now is caused by the burst of the veins, where the veins now gets to burst, and as they burst, there is a spillage of the blood. And both of these strokes happen in the brain. When they happen in the brain, then that's where there is a huge amount of danger, because that's where all your body functions are controlled. That's how you end up with um, a side that is not working. That's how you end up with mouth that is shifted. That's how you end up with maybe the whole side that is not working. That's how you end up with a slurred speech. That's how you end up with not being able to do anything for yourself. It's because all the body functions that we do in our bodies are controlled by the brain, And if the brain has got a problem, either the shortage of blood due to the blockage that is caused by either the fats or the blood clots, that shortage of the blood flow may cause damage in our bodies, because if the brain is not properly um, getting enough blood, then that's where the problem starts right there. Then it stops functioning the way it's supposed to function. And again, the same happens with the hemorrhagic stroke. When there is a spillage, the minute there is a spillage of the blood in the brain, that's where again the functions that are controlled in the brain stop happening, because there comes a time when there is too much pressure, and that pressure causes the brain cells to stop functioning the way they are supposed to. So right now I'm going to read the two different strokes as per the given descriptions thereof, and I'm gonna read them just as they are. And at the end of the reading of them, that will be the end of this video, but that will not be the end of my videos about stroke. In the next video that I'm going to do, I'm gonna give you stroke symptoms, because in an effort to try and fight this, we also need to be alert if we how close we are to danger. Are we far from the danger? Are we closer to the danger? And how to avoid the danger. So the next video that I'm going to make after this one will be about the symptoms. What symptoms do we need to stay alert for? What symptoms do we need to take into consideration before we decide to take steps towards finding medical help? What to look out for? So that will be the next video, which will get sometime this week. Thank you so much for watching this video. Just listen to my reading on the actual explanations of the ischemic attack and the hemorrhagic stroke. The ischemic stroke and the hemorrhagic stroke.
What is a stroke? A stroke happens when the blood supply to parts of the brain is cut off, killing brain cells. Damage to the brain can affect how the body works. It can also change how you think or feel. And the effects of a stroke depend on where it takes place in the brain and how big the damaged area is. The two major types of strokes are the ischemic stroke and the hemorrhagic stroke. They are, as you can see the pictures. In actual fact, there are three types of strokes. There is the ischemic stroke, the hemorrhagic stroke, and the TIA, the transient ischemic attack. You must have heard many times people talk about a mild stroke. So and so was hit by a mild stroke or a mini stroke. What is that? What is a mini stroke? A mini stroke is the term that is used often to describe a mild stroke like episode from which someone recovers quickly. This type of stroke is known as transient ischemic attack. Like an ischemic stroke, a TIA is caused by a reduced blood flow to the brain. However, the symptoms of a TIA resolve within an hour. Despite the fact that TIA may seem like a passing event, this type of a mini stroke is usually a warning sign of a future bigger stroke. Over 30% of individuals that have TIA. Over 30% of individuals who have TIA will have a larger stroke within the year. Therefore, it is important to discuss any experience of stroke-like symptoms with your doctor as soon as possible. Then we come to the ischemic stroke. The ischemic stroke is one of the 3 types of strokes. It is caused by a blockage in an artery that supplies the blood to the brain. If circulation isn't restored quickly, brain damage can be permanent. So this one depends on how quick that blockage is resolved there. The sooner it's resolved, the better the chances of you, or the better the chances of survival, and the better the chances of full recovery. Because if the brain damage is permanent, then that means you may be permanently affected by the stroke even if you survive it, or in the worst cases you do not even get to survive, you die. Then we come to the last part of these strokes. This one is called the hemorrhagic stroke. This one is a tricky one. It's very less common, but it's the most drastic because this one is caused by a spillage of the blood into the brain. Let me read it as it is. It says hemorrhagic strokes are less common, resulting from bleeding within the brain and skull. Blood vessels altered by an arteriovenous malformation, brain aneurysm, or a disease process may be more likely to rupture and bleed. A ruptured vessel can cause blood to accumulate within the brain, compressing its tissues and causing a dangerous increase in pressure, leading to cell death. Hemorrhagic strokes may be treated by reducing pressure within the skull and administering drugs to stop the bleeding. So usually that's the one that needs more operation to rectify the situation, so that they block the arteries from extra spillage into the blood. So I think you must have heard being told that somebody had a stroke and they had to be operated in the brain. That was because they suffered from a hemorrhagic stroke, which is called aneurysm. If it happens in the brain, that is a spillage of the blood into the brain cells, and it's just causing extra pressure in there. So usually to fix it, they absolutely have to open the skull and remove the spillage while fixing the ruptured vein or artery, depending on whatever it is. This is the most dangerous one because sometimes when they do that, they may affect or they may cause extra damage to other cells while in the process of helping in cleaning the spillage. Thank you for watching up until this far. I will come back with the symptoms of the stroke so that at least you can know what to look out for well in advance, so that maybe if you realize the problem earlier, your chances of survival, or anybody that you know, chances of survival can increase. Because with the stroke, the time of intervention is crucial in the survival of the patient of this silent killer. Thank you so much for watching, and if you wish to share this with anyone, please do so. Thank you. Bye bye.